Seems good.
Yeah.
All right, so this one's going to be about the song on the second album, which I do want to call the second album Round 2.
Round 2.
And it's going to be of like one of those old like 1800 like boxer guys.
Yeah. Two of them squaring off in the old sort of traditional style.
Yeah, kind of.
Not like a Mike Tyson.
He'll look like a picnic though.
Yeah, absolutely. Two picnics.
Just one.
Just one?
He's like, will be looking at you kind of thing.
Does anybody know off the top of their head what the alternative word, by the way, is to picnic? I think it might be endomorph or ectomorph.
Yeah, but that they can or both can still be tall. Picnics are always really short.
Always stout, girthy.
Yeah.
Text. Okay.
Oh,
text and another text.
Another.
Yes.
No. All right. Well,
Sure.
anyways, yeah. So this song is Sin Inc. We're gonna show you a slight. What is that called? Just a little bit of it.
A soundbite.
A soundbite of Sin Inc.
Here's a soundbite. Ready?
I can't take these chains anymore. I can hear the fire burning through the door.
That's all you get.
For now, until it releases, which will be quite soon. Well, I'm ready to release it, but once I actually put it up, it'll take a week maybe or something like that to actually be out. And that one, I'm not going to go through the thing I used to put it on YouTube. We're going to put it on YouTube ourselves. Yeah. So anyways, the song Sin Inc.
A rather interesting song.
Yeah, how it came about was a certain.
This is a rather interesting story.
I'll be careful how I say it. But
Yes.
there was a certain group.
A certain group.
Who likes to come to your door.
We all
They threw this book at my girlfriend.
literally threw.
And she brought it in, and we ended up reading through it, and it had a lot of mistakes, let's say, but it had this really interesting page about a fictional company called Sin Inc. And I don't really know what they did, but as I'm reading through it, I'm like, okay, full benefits, like room for growth, like the hours are kind of really easy to work around. I'm like, it sounds really
esoteric
cool
institution,
right? So I kept thinking about it, and I remembered I got a job at a bank, and it was the introduction as they were like teaching me how to learn all the banking stuff. It was really, I don't know, it was like everybody there had this big fake smile on, and
persona,
and it was like we're helping people, but like for sure we were just putting people in debt. That was it. But they had this kind of vibe of like, I don't know, just like corporate, just like seethiness to it that was just so strange the entire time I was there. So I like the idea of that. So it's like a company that follows that kind of rules of like everyone's a little bit crazy. So the guy in the song, he's like introing these people to this new company, but he's like, like they'll mess you up if you go against them and this and that, and he slips every once in a while because you really feel like he's on their side, but he's like, oh God, like I can't get out of this. Oh, but then he's like, but I have no choice. I got to keep tricking these people into working here.
He's been there long enough. Obviously, he knows what's going on.
Yeah,
he knows what the corporation's all about.
So it's kind of an interesting song of this guy who's kind of lost his mind a little bit,
but it's trying
no
to
way
show
out
it.
kind of deal.
Right?
Yeah, trying not to show it, but it slips, and yeah, kind of an interesting song that way. Musically, I really wanted to go for, there's that, it's like remember my dog, Pigwin? He, like, there's like a song associated with that kind of animal, like a big oaf.
Yeah.
Doop, doo, 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 doop, doo, 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 doo. Right? It's kind of almost major done though, so it has some more whimsical. So I thought of a riff that was more of a minor version of that.
Right.
And it's actually quite easy to play. It's B, B, and B. It's 3 different B notes. Wom, bum, 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 bum. I'm still doing it wrong with my voice, but you just heard it.
You just heard it.
So
more.
yeah. So musically, and I believe a lot of the song follows a 6/4 beat as well. Not all of it though.
And that's
but
another
most
thing
of
about
it.
our music. A lot of the time, signatures are not standard. So
Yeah, I mean,
be
we use
prepared for that.
4/4, but yeah, we'll use
for sure.
we'll use pretty much any of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. We make them work. We make them
Yeah.
sort of gel.
And that is one thing I really find interesting. It's almost like 4/4 is dead. There's nothing new you can do with 4/4. You can rehash stuff, and it always sounds good because it's 4/4. But you can write riffs in 5 or 9. Even Do or Die, it's in 9. There's a lot of 9 in
From
that
the front
song.
9.
9/8. So, and because of having riffs made in these different time signatures, from my point of view, I can hear things that I've not heard before, not just rehashed on the radio, kind of stuff like that. Not to be super against it, because, yeah, again, like our 4th song on the 2nd album is just a pop song, something you would hear on like a radio.
Yeah, very much so.
So, and the lyrics, I
Again, it's
only
got
come
that
up.
element of surprise to it. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And we do try to, because a lot of, say, metal, there's a lot of metal that uses odd time signatures, and they do it really effectively to like create, I don't know, space, I guess, and tension.
Yes,
And,
very much so.
and
tension.
really, the metal vibe. It does help. A lot of odd time signatures do help with that. But the way I want to do it, and I think we've effectively done it so far, is using these odd time signatures in a very rhythmic way. So the listener may not understand that it's 3/4 or
and then
it's still,
switches.
and it switches
Yeah,
to a
mid-song.
5 out of nowhere, right? But and a lot of time that can be kind of jarring. But I like to try to create it in a way that it kind of smooth transitions
In my opinion,
over.
it never has that jarring effect. It always has that smooth
No.
transition effect.
Do or Die a little bit just because of that pause, right? But again, I think it flows.
That's part of
pretty
the
well
story
still.
of the song.
Yeah,
that's
that's
another
true.
thing. We really like to paint pictures with the structures of our song.
Yeah.
Mainly with the
Have the
instruments
words
and the time
match.
signature.
Yeah.
But then, when the words come on top of it, the narrative really hammers everything home.
Yeah.
And ties everything together.
Yeah. And then as far as the lyrics of Sin Inc., I know I had come up with a little bit of the first verse on my own. It was like based off of the bank guy mixed with the book. But we went all in on like corporate jargon,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
Jump the shark.
We had to
Corporate
look up some
buyout.
serious sort of economic corporate jargon.
And there was some other stuff. I can't quite remember it all right now. But and welcome to Sin
Groupthink,
Inc. Yeah.
for sure. Groupthink is
Groupthink.
definitely like a central theme almost.
Oh yeah, and the
Along.
guy's voice, he kind of turns into a robot as he sings the chorus.
Yes.
So that was
Yes,
I actually
absolutely.
mixed that pretty well.
Yeah. Again, done for a reason.
Yeah,
We think of
it's effective.
intercoms. Yeah, we think of the sort of attacking sort of feeling of like you must be inculcated to the nth degree. By
Yeah.
Sin Inc.
Either way, and I don't know how to say this. I could probably just edit this part out too if I say it wrong. But we're not calling out any one group in particular.
No.
Even the group who threw the book at my girlfriend. This really is beyond what they're about. It does technically include what they're about, but it's a lot of our songs, they try to bypass the bubbles and talk about humanity as a whole.
Just exactly.
So like
Very well
whether
put,
you're this
very well
way
put.
or that way, and
Doesn't matter your color, your creed,
No.
your tongue, your race, your religion. That's not the point.
it
in
should
any of our songs,
still
actually.
be effective storytelling to pretty much anybody.
Yeah. And that will never be explicit in our songs, right?
No.
The idea usually has an origin, right, Jake?
Well, yeah, it's more just like the human experience or like the thought of thought kind of thing.
That's usually what we turn it into.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But the origin itself, that's just where the idea comes from. That's where we sort of start our home base
Yeah.
for each of the songs. I'd
Yeah,
say.
usually, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, each one has its own unique. Even the second one we'll release, Luster, it's kind of, it's a more direct story, but again, it's more of like,
But it's still got its parts. It's
Yeah.
not so direct at all, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's kind of, this is what happens when you do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the cat, she knocked over the ball,
Right.
and then she was looking at the ball like, oh, I'm mad.
Right.
What do you expect? You knock the ball down, that's what happens.
Cause and effect.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, cause and effect is at the heart of a lot of songs.
A lot of
and
the songs,
I don't
absolutely.
know if Sin Inc. really is. what I've noticed about Sin Inc. as an idea is, I'm going to use an example of like maybe like a video game company. How would I put it? So you have like developers who are trying to make a game and they're doing their best job, and then you have people above them who are trying to help them, but then there are people above them like shareholders and stuff who want you to release the game now, right? So then they can get their like return on investment. So then that brings the people kind of in the middle, like the heads and stuff are kind of now pushing on the developers to go more, and eventually what happens is like a game will release and it's all like messed up and buggy, barring a couple. And there's that one that came out, really enjoying playing it, by the way, Stalker 2, which is buggy, but it's kind of awesome. I'm sure they'll fix it, but in general, and then people get really mad, but like some of the money gets taken back, and so I see Sin Inc. as the overall structure that causes like garbage to just keep piling up, metaphorically, and of course like literally too. But absolutely. You know, like every Hollywood blockbuster kind of gets just like a 6, and everyone's like, what was the point of this? What was the point of that? Right? Yeah. That's Sin Inc. at work. Yeah. Really, just trying to make their buck.
Good vivid spectacle, but like a baseless skeletal kind of story.
Yeah. Right? And but not with our music. One thing I do really like in media in general is you're seeing a kind of a resurgence right now of like, look at the Terrifier series. That guy just made that like by himself. He got some crowdfunding, but the third movie got a huge release in theaters, right?
Like a pompous release.
What is that?
Very over the top.
It kind of was. They didn't market it at all, but it went everywhere and everyone loved it, and they did really well. Like both, of course, financially, which is the Sin Inc. way to look at it, but like as a like storytelling and stuff, and the type of movie it is, you don't usually see it played out that well. So something like that coming out, you know, it gives me hope, because when I look at the music industry, it is just Sin Inc. again, just rehashing the same thing, selling, you know, visuals opposed to music. And it's annoying. So I'd like to call out Sin Inc. and say, F you, Sin Inc. And maybe we can get some people on board on our side saying, hey, like there's a lot of art out there. It doesn't even have to be ours, but it also doesn't have to be like, you know, the main 9 people that you hear. There's a lot of others. Sure, not all of them are good, but a lot are, and they're not given a chance. It's just too bad. And that's Sin Inc. to blame. Sin Inc. is killing art in particular. So I'm mad at them, and we made a song about being mad at them.
It is a little jab at the music industry, as you can tell.
It is, and I'll continue to do that.
A specific kind of jab, not a certain kind of jab, but very specific kind of
jab. In general, like there's so many people in the industry who are awesome, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I would say probably like 95, 99%. Again, it's just that Sin Inc. shareholder quarterly profit. If you don't make it,
let's almost call them the 1% of the music industry.
Kind of, but it's any industry really that keeps happening, right? So
we just have to be musicians.
So we're attacking our specific niche in it. Yeah, but it's happening everywhere. Absolutely. So Sin Inc. is an FU to Sin Inc.
And unblindfold yourself.
And it's the genre that it is, I would say, like it's like blues based.
Oh, very.
Like a blues based kind of like rock song.
Very, very, very.
So if you like those
subsets melded together.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Heavier distortion, not super heavy. We're not metal. Really. We might make a metal song eventually, but
1 or 2.
Yeah, 1 or 2. Yeah. So I think that's it. Sin Inc. will release in a little bit. We'll see. Keep posted, or I'll keep posted. And we'll do another video on the second song in the second album, which is Luster of Midday. I believe it's about what we think happened to D.B. Cooper after he jumped out of the plane and why he did it.
Yes, absolutely.
It's just speculation, but
not baseless speculation, but let's just call it interesting speculation.
Well, you know, there's parts that assume that he's like he did it because he's trying to Robin Hood, right? Yeah.
The historical parallels are very obvious in a lot of the Hungry Pyknic music.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll tell you what we think happened to D.B. Cooper in the next video.
Yeah. Thanks for watching this one.
Welcome to